So yeah, as I said, this was basically like the corporate identity of our company, kind of. And it was 2012. So it's 10 years ago, and that's also why I just said, so I have no regrets, and I'm also not ashamed of that, what we did 10 years ago, because I mean, first of all, it's been 10 years ago, and second of all, we learned like a lot from it, actually. So, by the way, if you can't remember what 10 years ago was, this was basically like the top 10 in Germany 10 years ago. I don't know if any of you can remember anything of this. I can remember this. I can remember this. This I still like. This I'd rather not remember anymore. And other than that, what is it? What is it like? Oh, okay. Okay, got it. All right. So that is kind of now like the music to it that you have to imagine. Yeah? That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So this was me 10 years ago. So I think the only thing that is kind of like stayed from the look. Interesting question. Yeah. So I think like the look kind of stayed the same. Like I'm a little younger. The glasses changed. And this is my co-founder, Florian. At the time. So the question is, what did the company do? So I can quickly switch back to that picture. Scouts. So what is a trait of this? You will never get that. So I will skip a little forward and then go here. So this is how the product looked like. What did the company do?
Online education.
That's correct, yeah. So we actually, so what we wanted to do is, because we are both techies, right? We wanted to teach people how to program. And this is how, I don't know whether we have sound, but it doesn't matter. This is essentially how the product and the videos looked like. So also like 10 years younger. Exactly. And the thing is, I mean, when we started building that, I'm still convinced that everybody should learn how to code, at least like to some degree, not like full-scale coder, right? But I mean, at least something, because it makes your life a lot easier. And this is what we were thinking about doing 10 years ago. So we thought, because it was like the time, I don't know whether you remember still, like Code School and Treehouse, they were doing all these kind of videos in the US, and we figured, hey, let's try that for the German market and a more narrow target group. We didn't really know which kind of target group we wanted to do it for, so we did one thing. So he's already laughing, it's great, I love it. So we did something smart actually in the beginning, like in theory, but like the way we executed it wasn't that smart. So we basically set up 3 landing pages, and we basically tried to test target groups. We didn't test the product, so we just tested the target group. And we spent around, I would say, 200 euros of ad budget, and had like these 3 landing pages. And we targeted one towards designers, one towards people with a business background, and one, can't remember. It really doesn't matter. So if you want to test something with a landing page, 200 euros of budget is not really enough to get like valid numbers. It's like, it wasn't 10 years ago, and it is not today. So this is maybe like the first fuck up. It's not the most important one, but this is like kind of, I think we collected a couple of email addresses, and I think for designers we had 2 more than for the rest. So we figured, yeah, that's a good number, right? I mean, to be fair, like we had an IT background, so like statistical significance, I mean, but we really wanted to do that, and I think we heard that already tonight like a couple of times, like this kind of founder bias that you really want to do this one thing, and we just really wanted to do this one thing. So that's essentially what we did. So we started like producing the videos. My co-founder was building like this website and like payment platform, because that didn't come out of the box 10 years ago. And we started producing these videos. So basically we found locations, got like camera equipment, like shot all these kind of things on site, and then we did like screencasts to it, and basically went into our office, like there was like a small broom closet, and there we kind of like stuffed all kinds of blankets and shit in there so that we can actually record the sound there so that the sound wouldn't be too shitty, right? And it took us, I would say, like roughly a month and a half per video in order to get that right. And exactly. So that was for like an hour of video, because we were never satisfied with the product really. And I think like the small scene that you saw that we shot, where like basically like the train comes in and has like this logo on the back, right? So that was a video trying to explain how HTML and CSS works. And what better way to explain it by basically these Duplo bricks, which I still love, it's brilliant. But it took us, like, first of all, we got it like from my parents' basement, like these bricks, and then we thought about how we're gonna do it, and then we built this scene and all this on 1.5 months, easy, right? And then we basically produced 4 of these courses, put it out there, launched, and then obviously we told our friends who said, oh, it's a great product, absolutely love it. Mistake number 2, never ask your friends, they just love you too much. It doesn't work, it's like, it's great to show something to your friends, but to be honest, I never do it anymore because it's an opinion. It's not like, I think didn't you say that? Like you have to basically get something to the customer and they have to sign on the line. I mean, that's the only currency that really counts. And yeah, I know that now, because when we launched that, I think we sold 4, 5, 6 courses, and then we started, both coming from a tech background, to try to do marketing and sales. So like really trying to, just so we didn't really do it. So we had this one friend who worked at like an online designer magazine where we could reach designers, and we basically begged him to write this article about the website. And then we waited for like 3 weeks anxiously that it got published, and then we looked at our stats and we sold. Like how many courses do you think we sold? Like it was, I don't know whether you know it, made in Germany. It's like this. Sorry?
Where did you sell them?
No, we sold it on our website. So it was basically like an e-commerce. It was not an e-commerce background. It was just like a thing where you could, funny enough, we didn't really set a price, but we told people, pay what you want. Also like a really bad idea, by the way. It's not great. So you see, it's not great. So how many courses did we sell through that? 7? 3? No. Just from that one thing.
From that one article.
Yeah. And we had like all our hopes banked on that really, because we didn't really know how else to do sales and marketing. Because we thought like if we put it out there, it's brilliant, like the product is brilliant, people would just buy it. So the big question is how much revenue, we spent, by the way, we spent 2 years working on that, roughly. So we did like kind of freelance for a day to kind of pay our bills, because we were like fresh out of college. So this kind of worked, like when you're a programmer, that always kind of works, right? But like how much revenue did we make in 2 years? Ballpark it. 10K, 50K, 5K, 10K, 1K.
It's like my product.
Your parents.
So I tried to look up. So yeah, so I tried to look up the exact sum. I sadly couldn't find it, but I know. So this is actually exaggerated.
What was the individual price? What was each?
So our proposal was that you spend €9 on a course, our proposal. But you could also spend like 3 or something. So I think we sold like 15 courses or something, or we didn't sell 20. So that's why I said 200, I don't know, I think it was much less, right? So, I mean, actually the audio equipment alone cost 3 times that. So that's how fucked we were. I mean, there's obviously like a shitload of stuff that went wrong and that we didn't do right, or that I would do differently now. So I mean, you could always argue that, right? You could always argue that. But to be honest, we also did that. I mean, designers loved it. It's like, it's kind of the playful shit that designers love. But the issue was, I mean, we were no designers, right? So I mean, like, we thought they would love it. So to be honest, like the one thing was that we were way too focused on the product, like way too focused on the product. We were not focused enough on the customer, and we did like, I mean, putting out an article into a magazine is hardly like sales and marketing activity. It's not really. And the reason was mainly, so we had never done that before, and we were actually scared. So I mean, we were coders, so we were scared to talk to people. So we didn't talk to like actual customers because we were a little too scared. We didn't really do sales and marketing because, I mean, we didn't really know shit about it, and we didn't really think that it was important to kind of get into it, because like great products sell themselves, right? Right? Yeah, not really. So what I learned from that is actually something, because sometimes you need like a couple of years like down the line in order to actually see why this was useful. I mean, it was useful from the standpoint that you should actually find customers, like not like focus solely on building a product. But so same thing. So this is me like, I think like end of last year. So different glasses, different person. Also like look is a little different, like the shirt stayed. Like, sorry that this is in German, but this is like currently only targeted to the German market. So essentially what we are doing now is actually the same thing. It's just packaged very differently, and the focus is a little different. But so a year ago we actually founded a company, and what we are doing is essentially an education platform where we help product managers to get better in 8 weeks. To be honest, it's the same thing. We produced video content. It's a bit different because we also have like live sessions for exchange and that kind of thing. But in theory, it's actually the same product. I mean, it's just like we have Kajabi in the background now, so we don't have to code it ourselves. That's a huge relief. So because we spent a couple of months doing that before we had to launch the other stuff. But in general, it's literally the same product. It's a different twist. But it's the same. So the way we did this was very different from the way what we did like 10 years ago, because we didn't build a product at all before we launched it, like not at all. So what we did was we basically recruited 2 other people that can help us make this actually better than what I could do by myself with my co-founder 10 years ago. And then we built a landing page. We put like the content on the landing page, what we said we want to be doing, and then we started selling it. When we basically, so what we do is we do it in batches. So the deal that I made with Thomas, like the guy on the picture, was if we can find 5 people, then we're going to do it. If 5 people are willing to pay for this, then we're going to build it. And then we started selling it. So how much revenue did we make in 2 months doing this?
Sorry,
Sorry?
is it a B2C?
It's a B2B product, essentially. I mean, it's like, it's C people that are buying it, but it's usually paid by the company. Yeah. Also, like one thing that I completely got wrong the first time, people in Germany actually don't want to spend money on their education. You said it. I mean, it's like...
They spend like $300 on a pullover or a sweater.
Yeah.
No money on it.
Nobody is spending like any money on themselves. It's like, it's a shame, but yeah, let's not get into it. You can't change the market. It's like you can't do it.
201 euros.
Oh my God. Okay. So I said it was successful, but it was not like, yeah, okay. We made actually 8,000 euros. And that was pre-product. So we didn't build anything. So it was just like we just sold it. And I mean, that doesn't necessarily seem like a big number, but what we spent so far was a bit of time. We built like a landing page in a weekend, and we just put it out there, and we basically started writing people that were not our friends, right? So we actually wrote people that could potentially be customers, and then we started selling it. And then once we sold it, like essentially, it is good that this was an 8-week program because you get like content unlocked every week, so we had 8 weeks time to actually do it. But so the way we actually did it was that we just finished the videos like mostly like the night before they were made to go online for the next week. So I mean, this is how essentially we built the product. So I mean, that's like, oh my God, that's like, oh, big number. That's like 40 times actually the revenue that we made in 2012. So to be exact, because like inflation is a bitch, right? So it's like 32 point something times that. But the biggest takeaway really is that we did it 12 times faster. So that's the thing. We did it actually 12 times faster, and we didn't invest our hearts and souls and spend like countless days and hours locked in a basement recording videos and all that kind of shit. And to be fair, also execution was a lot easier. That's why I say sometimes you have to connect the dots in hindsight, because I did it 10 years ago. So I mean, this time it was actually a piece of cake because I already learned what works and doesn't work and all this kind of stuff. But like the one thing that I really learned from this experience is find customers before building a product. That's like the big takeaway. So, and like what I hear a lot is especially like, I love that you said that earlier, because in B2B there's a lot of thing like, oh yeah, the sales cycle takes 6 months, and I know, but at least yeah.
18.
Yeah, 18, like triple that. And to be fair, like most people say, all right, that doesn't apply to me because like our product is like super hard to build and it's super complex. To be honest, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I know people who basically sold very complex B2B products on a slide, not to investors, but to actual customers. And they were quite open like about it. They said, all right, so the thing is, we need 5 people to sign here and pay us up front. If the problem is big enough, then we build it for you. And that's exactly what they did. It's actually a company from Munich, Patent Pilot, who did it like that. And it can definitely be done. So what we actually did with the Product Masterclass, because this is actually also a huge problem for product managers, we made like a sticker. So this is actually a reminder, because this is how the scouts swear. So, and it's like a Harry Potter kind of thing. Like, I solemnly swear I will find customers before building a product. So yeah, if you only take one thing away, this is a game changer, or at least it was a game changer for me. I actually have stickers also. Like if anybody wants stickers, so I'm like the printer. Fuck.